The rear naked choke is a base layer of information. It's the basic path. It's the direction you're going, right? So I'm gonna attack the neck, the arm comes underneath the neck, you catch the shoulder, however you do it, grab the biceps, you can shoot the hand behind the head or transition or go to a short choke, right? So you set your first hand and then you set some sort of a variant on the second hand, right? Okay, great. The problem is that it's not so easy to set the first hand. And once you set the first hand, what's the first thing they want to do? They want to start peeling that first hand out. And then now you got to start all over again. So you get stuck in those first steps to the point where you can't ever get to that last step and then do the final squeeze, right? And then you got to understand when you can and can't, and when you should and shouldn't be squeezing, okay? So, of course, everything is based off of control, and I don't want the focus of the seminar to be control too much, but I will mention a couple of important control points that I think are vastly underutilized when you're on the back. I've realized that in chapters 3, 4, 5, and 6, those 4 chapters are a relationship. Turtle top, turtle bottom, back mount offense, back mount defense. 3, 4, 5, 6, okay? They're the same position. I realize that I grouped those together because they're the same position. The only difference between the positions are the hooks. But I can finish with or without hooks. Sometimes you have one hook, sometimes you have another. The reason that the hooks are important is for control. But if you have control, just with the over-under, you could attack the same strategy I'm gonna tell you right now. So I don't want it to be based on the southern control. I'm focusing more so on the northern control. So I'm gonna say this. There are some basic rules that you may or may not be aware of. The first and one of the most important rules is that I'm always attacking 2 against 1. When I'm on the back, yes, I'm here, but I already know that his hands are gonna cover. So I would prefer to be here. It doesn't matter which one I have, but I have 2 against 1. That's my primary strategy, right? So that's where I'd like to get to. Now, what does that look like? That looks like me controlling the fingers and me controlling basically the base of the wrist, right? So I'm controlling my middle finger and my thumb are basically the clamping points. And I'm gonna talk to you guys a little bit something about grip. You only use 3 fingers for grip. These 2 fingers are useless. And what I've realized, as things start to develop in my game, these 2 fingers have become pretty useless because they're the ones where the grip starts to get peeled. So I don't put very much pressure on those. I focus the energy on the 3 that are the most important. Look, I don't even grab with those. And that's something that's been a relatively new development. And my hand control is off the charts right now. Okay, so doesn't matter which one I get, but you already know that as I attack his neck, his hands are gonna come and I'm gonna get to 2 against 1. Once I get to 2 against 1, now we can start to attack. So that's obviously what I would like to do, right? If I can get to that, no problem. The problem comes because when you establish position and you get your over under, the first thing they're gonna do is they're gonna cover your hands. Another incredibly important rule is your hands need to be on top of their hands. And when we start getting underneath the chin, that is gonna make a whole lot of sense. You can't let them cover your hands. Don't let them cover your hands. Why? Because they're controlling your hands. They're gonna hook, and now you can't go in the direction you want. Your hands have to cover their hands. So you gotta change the way you think about the back. I'm trying to get to 2 against 1, and I always wanna be on top of his hands. I'm not happy controlling 1 and he's got 1. No, like this one. Like, I don't like this. I'll do this because he can't do anything with that one if I have 2 against this one. So you have to understand the overlying strategy of absolute advantage. I am fighting from a position of absolute advantage. Now, if I trap his arm, now he's got even more problems, right? So we'll get there eventually. So these are some common rules. Now, if he covers my hand, I have to do something I call speed bagging. That means my hand goes from the bottom to the top. And I get to 2 against 1. So even if he covers my hand, which hand is he grabbing? The top hand, this one. That means that this hand here has the ability to swim. And when it clears 1, boom, now we get to 2 against 1. That in and of itself is a skill. Sometimes the guy, you can't swim your hand under, right? You can't swim your hand under, but he said it would work. Yeah, timing is everything. The right move at the wrong time is the wrong move. So if you're trying to get the hands underneath and it's too tight, relax. What's he gonna, if I relax, what's he gonna do? Relax, then you go. And sometimes that's done in multiple steps. Sometimes it's not just done all at once, it's done. So long as I keep moving closer towards the goalpost every single time, I don't care. I'll take my time and I'll take my time during these speed bump battles, right? This is what I would call like a speed bump battle. They're battles you're gonna win, but they take a little bit of time, but eventually you're gonna win it. It's not that crucial, right? It's not a crucial battle. So that's the first thing I want to show you guys. The guy's covering my hands, and as he covers my hands start to swim. And now it doesn't matter which one I get, but generally I will cross grip, and now as I swim inside, boom, 2 against 1. And look, I don't stay here. 1, 2. You have to optimize control at every step. Why would I grab here when I can grab here? This is far better control, right? I'm covering, look at the grip. This is the grip. Hard for him to pull, hard for him to turn, hard for him to twist, hard for him to do everything because I'm at the base of the lever. This is higher up the lever this way. You know, some guys do this. We're good. Oh, this is, you already know. Guy's shaking his head like, no way. Start sliding. I might initially get to here, but then I slowly work my way to here. And that's what you're going towards, okay? Okay, so speed bagging, 2 against 1, okay? So grab a partner, do like 1-minute rounds. The other thing too is in order to dissect the position, this is what I'm doing, right? I'm dissecting a position, I'm dissecting a specific attack. I thought about it a little bit deeper than most of you guys, right? I've encountered more, I've experienced a little bit more. From my experience, it's got to be done in a playful fashion. The partner that's defending can't be defending full power. Allow a little bit of play because you're not only trying to figure out how it feels to make it work, you're also trying to make the pattern. These are hand patterns. Why does it seem like when I attack the back of him and I'm doing what I'm doing, it's like, Jesus, he's so fast at it. Yeah, because it's a pattern that I've memorized. It's beyond memory. It's automatic. It's part of the default operating system now. I don't have to think about which hand is shooting, when I shoot, or how I clear, how I shoot. And this is a constant battle. Which, if you don't know how to defend it, it puts the guy that's in the front in a tremendous amount of anxiety and tension. If you never feel safe and you can never just take that, you're psychologically beating them. And the longer you can psychologically keep them in that mental tension through the physical tension, right? Because there's 2 parts to it. How many times you get out of somebody's back control and you're like, ooh, thank God. Sometimes you get out of somebody's back control, you know it, and whoa, thank God, poop, and they end up right back on your back. What happens then? Oh man, now I gotta do so. So now that emotion starts taking over, you start making mistakes, you start getting your chin up, you start losing focus. It increases your fatigue, it increases your anxiety, and now you're psychologically and physically breaking the opponent. So you have to understand that if I feel like you're really struggling and you really don't want me on your back, the first place I'm gonna try to get to in the very next second is right back to your back. Because I'm not just doing, sometimes I will do whatever you give me and I'm just playing, but sometimes I'm trying to psychologically break you and I'll attack certain ways to start to mentally break you. So that's another layer of consciousness of when to attack a particular pattern, right? So you start seeing that every time I start adding more and more layers of understanding to the position, right? Understanding that 2 against 1 is what we're getting to. Hand control is king. Understanding that no matter what, my hands need to be on top of his hands. Just those 2 concepts. Now when somebody grabs your hands, you know that they're supposed to be on top. It changes the game dramatically. I'm not teaching you moves. Moves are useless. It's the philosophy and the concepts and the strategical application of what I'm doing. That's why it works. And you start beating people mentally. It's a matter of time. You have to have confidence in the system. I do. That it's a matter of time. Maybe they defend the first time you get there. Maybe they defend the second time. Man, you keep jumping on somebody's back and you start doing stuff like this, they will break. Or they open up another opportunity where you can change to a much, they overcompensate. And then it opens up the door for another submission. Okay? Easy enough?